Hey everyone, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the session. Please let me know if I am properly audible and visible. Um, I'm able to see if I'm on. Can any of you confirm? I think I am. So, a very good evening to all of you. Those who are watching for the first time, I'm your faculty of English and my name is निहारिका जान और यहाँ पर हम डेली क्लासेस कर रहे हैं. So the schedule on this channel IBPS exam mentor, it is like so 1:30 p.m. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Okay, so we have these 3 days, 1:30 p.m. and we cover topic-wise practice on these 3 days. Today we covered RC and Parajimal, and 8 p.m. हमारी classes हैं इस channel पर editorial classes. Now these are the great classes जो कि आपको हर तरीके से English के लिए prepare करेगी. We have multiple segments here. We have skimming, we have vocabulary, we have grammar part like the theory revision, and we do have MCQs. So you see a lot for you people to cover here in this single session. तो जल्दी से इसे लाइक और शेयर कर दो. सब्सक्राइब द चैनल इफ यू आर न्यू हियर एंड वी आर गना स्टार्ट. स्किमिंग skip कर करके पढ़ना. You jump and you read. You don't read each and every word. आप ऐसे नहीं पढ़ते जैसे कि याद करना है. You don't read as if you are translating. You have to read only with one mission, one goal. That आपको एक overall idea समझने की ज़रूरत है. Okay? तो इस तरीके से आप यहाँ पे पाओगे. ठीक है? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a timer for 2.5 minutes for all of you. और आपको उतनी देर में जितना अच्छे से रीड कर सकते हो, you have to read. Try to jump and read. Try to focus on subject and verb. और आप लोग इसे पढ़ो and then I will explain. Okay? More than enough time given. So what does this article say? Now this is article taken from the Hindu editorial, and this is today's editorial. Tighten the process. It's a direct demand kind of a statement that we must make the process stricter on the Election Commission of India on the election processes. The ECI, देखो ऑथर ने खुद ने अब यहाँ पे फुल फॉर्म यूज नहीं करा है. We have to follow the same in essays कि हम first time full form लिखें, second time onwards we just use the acronym. Must address legitimate concerns means actual concerns about voter rolls and transparency. Okay, these are voter rolls, not ROLES. तो ध्यान दो उस चीज. The leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, has raised troubling questions. उन्होंने बहुत क्वेश्चंस रेज करे about the conduct of elections based on what transpired in 24 assembly elections in Maharashtra. So based on something that happened in the assembly elections 2024 May, there was a question raised here by the leader of opposition. There are specific issues mentioned in the abnormal increase in voters listed in electoral rolls, the list between general election and assembly elections. So first is sudden abnormal digest nahi ho pa raha, us tarike ka increase in the voters. Higher turnouts number after 5 p.m. on voting day. 5 बजे के बाद बहुत सारे लोगों का आना. The center amending the conduct of election rules to restrict access to CCTV footage of the polling process. Polling process के footage को restrict कर देना is another. These are the issues he mentioned. Mr. Gandhi has also questioned the process of appointing ECs, election commissioners, with the union government refusing to implement a Supreme Court judgment. Abhi union government is saying no, refusing to implement a judgment that was passed by Supreme Court in 23 that recommended having the CJI as part of selection panel. Okay, they suggested, that was recommended, that let Chief Justice of India be a part of selection panel. But who is selecting these commissioners? It is again questionable thing as per Mr. Gandhi. While political parties, including the BJP and the Congress, have raised complaints about electronic voting machine in the past, so political parties दोनों ने ही EVMs के लिए raise करा है complaint. Many did not stand scrutiny considering the administrative and technological safeguards. But इसकी scrutiny, इसकी investigation check नहीं करा गया because of the considering the administrative safeguards and the technological aspect. The Congress has now focused on the electoral process. So now the Congress is focusing on the process, raising more fundamental questions that need to be unpacked separately. So we need to make sure that these issues are settled. A preliminary analysis by the Hindu of registered voters in states where the general election and assembly elections were proximate. So preliminary analysis showed that there were precedents of sharp increases in electorate before assembly election. That was the first issue. Suddenly increase ho gaya. While the number of new voters added before the assembly election was high, more than 39 lakh voters in just 6 months following the general election. So how much high? This much high. 39 lakh more voters, more than 39 lakh voters were added just within 6 months. Similar increases were observed in 2014 as well. The increase of nearly 4 million voters is a large number, and the ECI should proactively release machine readable data on the rolls for verification. So this has to be investigated. This increase has to be justified. Regarding the allegation that turnout increases were abnormal after 5 p.m. Now this is the second issue. In the second para, author is explaining the issues. He just named, सिर्फ नाम दिए थे उनके in the first para. Good strategy for your essay also. You name things and then main body में explain करो one by one. First issue का explanation खत्म हुआ. Now talking about the second one. Regarding the allegation that turnout increases were abnormal after 5 p.m., the argument does not hold water. The argument does not hold water means it's not very strong argument. This is based on provisional turnout figures, and ECI data show that there was no significant increase in voting after 5 p.m. in Maharashtra. But ECI बोलता है ऐसा तो कुछ हुआ नहीं basically. Provisional turnout figures shared via an app by the ECI are not entirely accurate. So provisional ones are not entirely exact, as these are dependent on manual entry of numbers during elections and may have discrepancies. Means there may be things that are incorrect when compared to accurate machine count. So the ECI is saying that it's not exactly like that, that sudden increase happened after 5 p.m. and all those things. As final figures via Form 17C data from each booth are released only after a lag, after a wait, it would be incorrect to rely on provisional turnout figures. So, after final figures that are released later on, it is not correct for us to depend on that to comment based anything which is based on provisional figures. However, there is another contention, another problematic thing that merits the ECI's response. Retaining CCTV footage and providing parties and their nominees access to it to scrutinize complaints. There is another thing that is in picture that is regarding the CCTV footage. The process of updating electoral rolls must be more transparent. Of course, author is of the opinion that transparency is required and involve political parties for scrutiny and verification. So it should involve political parties, and that's how we can investigate, we can check. It is also incumbent upon parties to show. Now, again, author is saying it is incumbent upon means it is obligatory, it is super duper important, it has to be done. That the parties to show alacrity during this process. Okay, so alacrity means eagerness, something we do quickly, we don't wait, we don't procrastinate. So alacrity during the process, then cry foul after results are. Cry foul means कि बिना जबरन के अफसोस जताना. You keep telling anything after everything is done. Now you are sad about something. Ultimately, the onus, the burden lies on the ECI to enhance transparency. So it's the work of ECI that transparency is maintained in the electoral process, and specifically in providing electoral rolls and retaining CCTV footage for scrutiny. So provision of CCTV footage and electoral rolls भी होना चाहिए as per the author of the article. Let's learn some phrases. Legitimate is anything that is lawful, legit, valid, reasonable. Especially if anything is lawful, it is legitimate. Transpiring or transpired is something that has emerged. वो हुआ, होकर सबके सामने आया. Alacrity is readiness, briskness, not taking long time to finish something, to do something. Being quick that way. Provisional is temporary. You all understand provisional data, provisional time period and all. Discrepancy is inconsistency, mismatch. You think it should be 20, what you are getting to see is 18. It is a discrepancy. उसे mismatch बोलते हैं. Incumbent upon, the phrase which was used is something that is obligatory, that is required, उसको करना ही चाहिए. Onus is responsibility, duty of someone, जो हमें उत्तरदायित्व दिया है वो करो. Electoral roll is voter list, in case you don't know. Scrutiny is inspection, examination and a deeper one. एक ऐसी जांच पड़ताल जो कि थोड़ी गहराई में जाके हो. Contention is dispute, okay, and content इसका verb form is dispute करना, मुद्दा उठाना, विवाद करना. Obfuscation is clouding of judgment, of confusion, unable to clearly think or decide on something. Retaining something or someone is to hold back, बनाए रखना, preserve करना. Okay. Now it's time for you people to answer some questions. Part of speech. It is adjective. Okay, abnormal increase. So the word increase here is noun and this is adjective. Mm, part of speech. This is many as a pronoun. Now the word many, if you use it with a noun, like many students, many learners, okay? So in this case, many is used with a noun and it is an adjective. But in this case, it is an indefinite pronoun. In short, it is a pronoun. Many के बाद में सीधे you have the verb format. Okay? He did not stand. Many did not stand. They did not stand. This is a pronoun and there is no noun after many. That's how I know it is a pronoun. Part of speech. Separately is an adverb. This sentence you need to tell me the subject and verb. Picture. Analysis is the first noun, so uh, it is your subject here, and showed is your main verb. No, not this word. It is adjective. Yeah. So the tone here is cautionary, investigative because there were issues raised and all, and accountability focused. This means that more transparency is asked by mentioning all the things. Now, the summary goes like this here that the editorial scrutinizes recent concerns raised by opposition leader about the process, particularly during 2024 Maharashtra Assembly elections. The issues addressed were sharp increases, unusually high turnout after 5 p.m., restricted access to CCTV footage, and controversial appointment process of ECs. There were four major points. In Pressy writing in exam, you won't you won't mention points like this. You will have to frame a sentence and उसमें fit करना होगा. Okay? यहाँ पे आज मैंने bullet points के way में या pointers के way में लिखा है. While some allegations like abnormal post 5 p.m. voting are shown, lack of merit means substantial nahi hai. Other allegations such as voter roll transparency, CCTV access are considered legitimate concerns. Now, the other concerns are actually real concerns, and the ECI must address. Editorial also emphasizes that political parties share responsibility. They are responsible in maintaining electoral integrity. That means transparency, honesty, and must engage proactively during the process. Chalo. Answer is B. They are entered manually during. No, they should proactively, but that is not why the provisional figures are unreliable. No, because they are manually done. That's why they are unreliable. B is the answer, guys. Read the question. The question says why the provisional figures are unreliable. I think you misunderstood the question. You didn't understand the question properly. Provisional data. Oh my god, guys. पढ़ो ध्यान दो. So I'll show you where it is. I need to search. It's mentioned there. Okay, it's mentioned there. I'll just find out and show you. Okay, you do the second question. It's somewhere in the second one. First, you do this question. It's somewhere in the second para. Provisional वाला जो point था, provisional versus actual numbers. That's okay. Provisional wala point was only given in like one single section. That's okay. That's why you are here. Sometimes such confusing things could be given in exam as well, na? In the second one, it is okay. I'll show you first because I would want you to have clarity. Ah, provisional figures shared via an app are not accurate as these are dependent on manual entry. Second answer is C. You're absolutely right. Third one. A is the answer. What historical trend is observed? Large additions are not new and have precedent. We have seen this in 2014 also. Fourth one. Okay, answer to this one is A again. Lack of postal ballots. Not a concern. Not a concern. Not a concern. Question is not key. See, all three were there. Transparency issue, footage issue, appointment issue. इतना कंफ्यूज हो गए ये वाले एडिटोरियल में. आंसर इज सी. क्या? ट्रांसपेरेंसी improves trust. ये तो मैंने आपको समझाया है. I hope you do it correct. Ballot. पोस्ट के थ्रू वोट करना. So there, in some countries you can vote even through posts and that is called postal ballots. Answer, yeah, 6C, duty, synonymous with the word responsibility. What, according to editorial, should political parties avoid doing? Raising complaints after results. Okay, crying foul जो बोला था phrase के form में. Error detection, question number 1. We have to remove yet. A very simple rule. अगर हम although का use कर रहे हैं, if you are using although, all we have to do is use a comma and then go with the second clause, subject, verb and object. So we don't need yet, okay, and that's why this is not the right combo here, okay. Although the committee was constituted with the what objective of evaluating policy inconsistencies, yet it failed. Although तो आएगी है contrast के लिए ना, so यहाँ पे we need to remove yet. It failed to address several loopholes that had been highlighted where in earlier reports. What kind of reports submitted by independent auditors? Absolutely right. Hardly had the board members entered the meeting room when the consultant, whose presentation was delayed, began. Okay, began. We want past tense, so begins is wrong. Very, very easy. Lengthy sentence, but easy question. Simple past tense, began, not begun. Verb third form नहीं लगेगा. Additional information नहीं है ना? With had we have there are two clauses. It is the main verb of second clause. The answer here is again C. The problem is of parallelism. The new legislation aims not only at increasing transparency in contracts but also at establishing. Just like we have at and increasing, that is your gerund verb in its ing form. After but also I want to keep the same format. So to establishing, exactly at establishing आएगा, and that was the parallelism issue. बाकी सब सही है. It is common misconception, yeah, that renewable energy resources are always more friendly, environmentally friendly. One adverb can be used to explain, to modify another adverb. Absolutely right. क्या गलती है उसमें? And more is again another adverb. So there are actually three adverbs each explaining the other one. Then conventional energy sources. Although in contexts such as land usage, extraction, noun, they may pose significant challenges. How significant? Equally significant. The question has no error. The answer is E. Environmental होता भी तो कैसे होता? Friendly तो वैसे भी वहाँ पे the word you are getting is already adverb. Adjective cannot explain an adverb ना. तो environmental friendly थोड़ी ना होगा. कोई बात नहीं. That's why you are here. Super simple. In response to audit observations, तो ये तो मेरा सही हो गया. This is my starter of the sentence. The department explained what? That discrepancy in financial allocation was simple subject verb agreement error. Okay, B is the answer. Discrepancy is the subject for this verb. Discrepancy was due to a clerical error which had been rectified through internal adjustments. कैसे adjustments? Made by the accounts division. Division का नाम है accounts वाला. That's why plural, you can, it look wise it looks like a plural. Since is used as an adverb here. Okay, had been rectified since that point of time itself. तभी कर दिया था, बाद में भी ऐसा. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining the session. And once again, let your friends and peers know that our class has been shifted to this channel. 8 p.m. we are meeting here. Okay? Take care, all of you. I'll see you later for free PDFs. Join our Telegram that is mentioned in the description below. And once again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.